he's really feeling it right now. I mean, he probably has no idea where he is.
Time when I'm going to take your soul and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter.
It's likely that one big shot's going to land if the guy's not throwing other shots. So I thought with less artillery in the air, less bombs in the air, that the guy would have a chance to get.
Joe Rogan reacts to Jake Paul's knockout loss with laughter while sitting alongside Anthony Joshua, calling the fight a mismatch from the very beginning. Rogan explains that Jake is used to facing retired fighters or MMA opponents, not a true Olympic-level heavyweight boxer. He stresses that Joshua operates on an entirely different level and competes far above Jake's natural weight class. From a realistic boxing standpoint, Rogan says the ending was predictable long before the opening bell. The result simply confirmed what most experienced observers already expected. Anthony Joshua being connected to what many describe as a circus-style fight with Jake Paul immediately splits opinion within the boxing world. Critics argue that the gap in size, experience, and pedigree makes the matchup impossible to take seriously. Joshua is a two-time heavyweight world champ.
I heard the question being posed to Joshua, will he now fight Fury? And then my first thought was, after what I've seen, who cares? After that, who cares if Joshua fights Fury? I like Anthony Joshua immensely, Spencer. Any exchanges I've had with him, I think he comes across terrifically well. But I fail to see where it's taken us, where it's taken him, other than hugely increasing his bank balance. You know, I really fail to see what this has done.
Well, it's done nothing, but he was going to fight in November, like I said, and he's just gone in there against Jake Paul. What has it done for his legacy? Absolutely zero. But it was, you know, he's earned a lot of money doing that. And he's going to go again, and he's going to fight possibly February, March, and then there's that Tyson Fury fight that's looming that could happen in September, whether Tyson Fury decides to come out of retirement or not come out of retirement. For Anthony Joshua, he's and
an Olympic gold medalist, while Jake Paul is still developing as a boxer. To many, the fight feels more like entertainment designed for attention and numbers rather than a true sporting contest. Simon Jordan reacts strongly after Joshua knocks Jake out and breaks his jaw, calling the event harmful to boxing's credibility. Simon Jordan expands on his criticism, arguing that fights like this blur the line between legitimate sport and pure spectacle. He believes they distract fans from meaningful competition and long-term boxing narratives. Jordan points out that Anthony Joshua has already secured generational wealth and an established legacy. Because of that, Joshua does not need novelty bouts to define his career. Even if a long-awaited Tyson Fury fight never materializes, Jordan suggests Joshua's financial security means he could walk away from boxing without hesitation.
Olympic gold medalist heavyweight. I mean, Anthony Joshua is fucking
Here's the
terrifying.
thing that nightmares are made of.
And he's got that one-punch nuclear power. One punch.
Joe Rogan shifts the focus to praising Anthony Joshua's physical abilities. He highlights Joshua's speed, athleticism, and devastating punching power, explaining that he moves like someone far lighter than a typical heavyweight. Rogan described Joshua as a nightmare opponent because of how quickly he can close distance and end exchanges with a single shot. According to Rogan, these qualities make it unrealistic for crossover fighters to compete with Joshua at a serious professional level. Adam Booth offers a more detailed and balanced breakdown of the fight. He notes that Jake Paul did manage to make Anthony Joshua miss at certain moments, which Booth considers noteworthy. Jake's movement and positioning forced Joshua to reset rather than land freely. Booth makes it clear this does not mean Jake was winning, but he acknowledges that creating hesitation in an elite heavyweight is not easy. He explains that making a fighter like
Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul shared a ring. Your takeaways from the 6 rounds that we saw, presuming you watched?
I was impressed with Jake Paul. I thought that, following on from what we're saying, right? A few years ago, he was on Disney as a kid, acting up, and has decided to become a professional fighter. That takes balls, but he's obviously striving to be as good as he can be. You can see that in the way that he moves, the way that he is developed in how he's punching and performing. But to make a a two-time world heavyweight champion that's still live, you know, AJ's still got something about him, to make him miss in such an accomplished manner. All right, so at times he was jumping out and running around, but there were times when he was well in range and still making AJ unable to land a clean, solid shot. He deserves a lot of respect for that. And then the shot that actually finished the fight, that broke his jaw quite badly, didn't put him out. That shot he threw with serious intention has put a lot of professional heavyweights to sleep. He didn't go to sleep. He actually finished on his knees, didn't he? Laughing and spitting blood out of his mouth. So, like they say, like, it's a special type of crazy and a special type of brave to do it. But I actually, hats off to him, because he showed that he's developing some accomplished little skills in there to look after himself. The size difference is always going to fatigue him.
I know everyone will come with the idea that, oh, well, AJ should just go in there one round and smash him to bits, and that should be it was a big ring, right? Perhaps he could have cut the ring off a bit better, but would I be right in saying that regardless of skill level, if you forget about that with the two...
Joshua miss requires preparation, timing, and confidence. Booth gives Jake credit for his footwork and composure under pressure, while emphasizing that Joshua's experience and power ultimately decided the fight once he found his opening. After the fight, attention briefly shifts to Logan Paul, who appears to confront and attempt to intimidate Anthony Joshua while speaking about revenge for his brother. Logan reportedly expresses interest in fighting Joshua himself. Analysts immediately dismiss the idea, calling it an even worse mismatch than Jake's fight. They point out that Jake trains full-time with professional boxing coaches, while Logan does not have the same commitment or skill level. A Logan Paul versus Joshua bout is widely seen as pure spectacle with no competitive value. The consensus is that such a fight would further damage boxing's image rather than add anything meaningful.
Than Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Because at least Jake Paul has taken boxing, or has trained with real boxing trainers and real boxes. Whereas Logan Paul, you know, he did that exhibition with Floyd, and Floyd's a little guy. Not saying a little guy can't thump, because Floyd really gave him some two pieces with no sides, right? But at the same time, you take his friend, Floyd's friend, Anthony Joshua, and get hit by him and see what happens. The same thing. Probably worse, because I think Logan, you know, he's a little taller than Jake, and because he's a little taller than Jake, he may think he's a little stronger than Jake, which I don't know which one's true or not. I don't think it makes a difference, but because he may feel that way, he may want to go in there and try to bang it out with AJ, and if that happens, it's going to be a lot quicker. See, that 6 rounds it took AJ to finally catch Jake, it took that way because Jake was on that bicycle, moving, being elusive, trying to come in and then come out. He tried to do a very poor man's Alexander Usyk, right?
Sugashano Molly analyzes Jake Paul's mindset going into the fight, focusing on the trash talk and confidence displayed beforehand. He argues that critics misunderstood Jake's behavior. According to Molly, Jake needed that confidence to mentally prepare for stepping into the ring with a 2-time heavyweight champion. He explains that belief and self-talk are essential when facing overwhelming odds. Without that mental edge, Molly believes Jake would not have been able to function under the pressure. While the loss was decisive, he says Jake's approach showed respect for the challenge and highlighted how mentally demanding it is to face a fighter of Joshua's caliber. Teddy Atlas explains that his prediction of the fight lasting several rounds was based on real boxing factors.
Legs, nice
duck
ones
unders.
with ankle picks, duck unders. But dude, God, people are, I see so much people talking shit on the fight, which, dude, what the fuck did they expect? Like, Jake was hyping himself up, saying he's gonna win. Dude, that's self-belief. He needed that to go in. He needed that to get himself into the ring. You know what I'm saying? He just needed that.
What do you think about the sticking that tongue out?
Dude, he's a showman. This is a fucking YouTuber that switched to pro boxing.
Yep.
And he's
not any belief in a staged outcome. He points to Joshua's long layoff, the knockout loss in his previous fight, and the hesitation that can follow such setbacks. Atlas says those mental doubts take time to clear, especially for a fighter who is not naturally a fast starter. He also mentions the larger ring size, which allowed Jake more room to move early. Atlas believes Jake entered with a genuine game plan built around movement and survival. But once Joshua applied sustained pressure, the fight entered territory Jake had never experienced before. Atlas explains that fatigue, pressure, and elite-level intensity combined to overwhelm Jake, proving the fight was real and decided by boxing realities.